Why, in terms of, and maybe they did, but it seems like here is the chance where Larry Bird can call up Magic Johnson and just say, hey, give me your best offer here. If you want him, he wants to be there, let's make a deal. Where do things stand with that?
Well, first off, Larry Bird is now just advising Kevin Pritchard, which is the first thing. But to go back to your point, Michael, a very, very good one, which would be why would that not have happened in November or December? Part of it is I don't know that the Lakers had pieces that Indiana was interested. Now, Indiana would be interested theoretically in that top 3 pick. What I thought they should have done was go to Los Angeles or Boston and say, we have Paul George. We will trade him for your top 3 pick, in the case of Boston being 1, Los Angeles being 2. I then would have tried to trade that pick to, let's say, a Sacramento for their 2 first-round picks and end up with 3 picks in the top 18 if I'm Indiana. But then again, I'm just a radio host. I'm not a general manager. In terms of Larry Bird making that phone call to Magic Johnson, I think what it came down to was in the middle of the season, D'Angelo Russell, Julius Randle, okay, I don't know that they had the pieces from both the financial or an on-court production standpoint to be able to scintillate Indiana into making that move. Now, hindsight's 2020, right? You now know because you don't have what has happened here is Indiana has lost a lot of leverage. So Indiana has to create leverage. And the way to create leverage is to, as I mentioned, mention the fact and get it out there that you're shopping Paul George around to try to get teams to panic a little bit. Oh, wait a minute, we've got to get this now. We've got to take advantage before the sale ends. That's kind of what's happening here. And I think that that's what Kevin Pritchard's doing. But I don't know necessarily that the Lakers had pieces that Indiana truly, truly felt they had to have 3 or 4 months ago.
If Paul George could be injected into any starting 5 in the NBA right now, where do you think the best fit for him is?
I'll be honest with you. I think LeBron James is the best player on the planet. I think LeBron James is arguably the most versatile player in the history of the NBA. So I think anybody, Alexa, I think you and I would actually, our best fit would be with the Cleveland Cavaliers because of LeBron James. And again, I go back to, I think Paul George is a wonderful player. As you see here, he can score in the baseline. He can score from the outside. He can pull up. But all of those things, I still think that he has not fully learned how to be the guy that takes over games late in the game. And to have somebody on his roster like a LeBron James, or for that matter, a Kyrie Irving, that can do those things, it would be difficult to say anywhere other than Cleveland would be the best fit for him in terms of for himself and what would bring out the best in him to becoming a championship level player.
What are the chances here, Jake, that Paul George actually starts the season back with the Pacers?
I think better than people are giving it. Now, that's not to say that the Pacers are in a pickle, and I think the Pacers know they're in a pickle. But the one very, very, very small percentage curveball here that could happen is that the Pacers say, you know what, let's hold on to the guy. Let's not trade him for anything. Let's just go ahead, and once he comes off our books, that gives us all kinds of cap space. Now, cap space in Indiana doesn't mean what it means in New York or Los Angeles, because you have to use it to get people that are willing to come to Indiana, which has not been obviously the bread and butter for the Pacers in the history of the franchise. But he still has, technically speaking, and I'm strictly speaking on technicality here, Paul George still has the ability to get a supermax contract out of Indiana if he becomes a first, second, or third team All-NBA player this coming season, the 2017-2018 season. And at that point, they then would again be able to offer him more money than anywhere else. But he's already said it. It's kind of like when your girlfriend tells you that she wants to break up. You know, you can say, well, let's wait until that wedding we're supposed to go to. Let's wait until Valentine's Day, and then let's reassess, and maybe she'll – no. Look, once she tells you it's over, right? So you got to move on at that point. And I think Indiana knows realistically that's where they are.